Hey guys, it has honestly been a minute since I've seen you guys, whether it's been a vlog, a sit down video, anything. I have been MIA for a month. I just took kind of the month off of both YouTube and TikTok to just figure my life out, plan my life out, and I just really needed a mental check-in. It's been a lot going on in the month of April, and so now it is May. And what they say, April showers bring May flowers, they might be dead correct. I need the flowers to bloom. April really wasn't that bad. It's not like anything serious or anything. I kind of was just finishing my first semester of school. My baby's about to turn 1. But this is not the video. This is not a catch-up video. This is not the video for that. This is a video about ultrasound tech. So if you guys have been watching me, you know that I'm currently back in school to become an ultrasound tech. This was my first semester. I already have my bachelor's from UCF, so there weren't too many classes that I needed to take. There's only 6 classes standing between me and the ultrasound tech program. When I posted my little TikToks regarding ultrasound tech, they went crazy. I got a lot of comments, a lot of views, people asking a whole bunch of questions about ultrasound tech, saying they want to do it, and 100% yes, it has been glorified on TikTok. But of course, it took me getting pregnant to actually come across this. So after 4 years, I decided to go back to school to become an ultrasound tech. A lot of engagement on those videos on TikTok. I decided to post another TikTok doing a Q&A, answering any questions in regards to it. It's going to be like a one-stop shop. So if you do want to become an ultrasound tech, you're not going to pursue ultrasound tech as a degree. The degree is actually called Diagnostic Medical Sonography. There's a whole bunch of branches when it comes to it. As of right now, I'm going for OBGYN. I was looking at cardiac. I want to be scanning the bellies. I love my belly so bad. Letting you guys know how far along you are on your journey, etc., etc. So first question is going to be what made me get into it. So I kind of touched base on that already. I don't know if you guys know. I was pregnant last year. My baby turns 1 in 8 days, which is so crazy to say. So one day, not even gonna lie, not gonna yai, I was like, I wonder how much they get paid. Cause this job don't really seem like too hard. Any profession in the medical field is gonna be hard, but it didn't seem like something that was too crazy. I know I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a nurse. That is not for me. Scrubs are cute. Like, I feel like I would look cute in a scrub. I wonder how much they get paid. So I went on TikTok and I searched how much they get paid. And I was like, oh, they make a nice coin. They make a nice coin. I'm trying to see what that be like. I grew up spoiled, very spoiled. I need to maintain that spoiledness and pass it on to Lonnie. So I need to make a little bit more coin than I'm making right now. So let me go ahead and see what this is like. So of course I went to TikTok, looked it up one time, saw their pay. And the one I saw, it was ranging from like 40 to 70 an hour. Now, that is not going to be everybody's pay. It does go based off your specialty, travel, per diem. There's a whole bunch of different things that go into your pay. So not everybody's going to be making $40 to $70 an hour. It just depends. Some people can make less, some people can make more. And of course, you know, you search one thing up on TikTok and they flood your For You page with it. So next thing you know, the next day I'm sitting here scrolling and I'm seeing, call me work as an ultrasound tech, call me on this travel assignment. And I'm just like, okay, travel assignment, that sounds, I love to travel. That sounds very nice. I came across these TikTokers who are like doing 13 weeks in one state, 13 weeks in another state, 13 weeks in Hawaii. I was just like, hold on. I get to work and travel and live in different places. I want to buy a house in the next couple of years. I just do not know where I want to buy the house. Do I want to buy the house in Florida, in Georgia, in Texas? Like, I don't know where I want to live. So I feel like if I do travel assignments, I do 13 weeks in different states, I can decide where I want to live. So TikTok said, you want to be an ultrasound tech? Heard you. Flooded my For You page. I just started to gain more knowledge about it, and it just sparked my interest. Like, of course the pay sparked my interest, but just like the job in itself sparked my interest. I love being pregnant. Let me not say that, because I'm not trying to get pregnant no time soon. That is not. Scratch that. I enjoyed being pregnant. I love my whole OBGYN office, like talking to all of them, talking to them while they're scanning my belly. And I just was like, it was such a blissful moment. So it's just like, I would love to be a part of that blissful moment for others, like to give others that same experience that I had. So it's like, okay, this is something that I really want to do. Luckily, because I know there's a lot of times where people go to school for one thing and then want to switch later and they have to do everything all over. Thankfully, I only had classes that I have to take before I can get into my actual program. This semester I took, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I started off with 4 classes, had to drop it and ended up with 2 because it was not working out with my schedule with my baby. I started off taking anatomy lab. Those were the 2 classes that I was taking on campus. And then I was taking national government, which I took a government class my first year of college, period. So I don't know why I didn't transfer over. And then I took physics. If you know me, I suck at math. Hand me a calculator. I ended up having to drop anatomy 1 and anatomy 1 lab because it just was a big conflict and it wasn't feasible. So I ended up only taking the 2 online classes this semester and I passed both of them with the A. Period 4.0 on me, please. But even though it's only 2 classes, shut up. So now summer, May 13th, I start my second classes, which is anatomy 1 lab. I'm taking them online. I was lucky enough to get them online. How is a lab online? I don't know, but y'all come along the journey with me, so y'all figure out when I figure out. Yeah, so I could still work because I have to work, honey. The bills don't pay itself. Content isn't paying the bills yet, so I do have to work a little 9 to 5. So fall, I'll be taking anatomy 2 and anatomy 2 lab, and luckily I was able to get those 2 online too. I'm striving for A's in both of those classes, well, all 4 of those classes too. My school only takes 10 to 15 applicants to get into the program. So I could do all of this and still not get into the program. Applications open in November and the program starts in June. Of course, I'm not only gonna apply to this one program, I'm gonna apply to other programs too. I've looked up other ones. I think one starts in August, other one starts in January. Technically, I won't be in my program until 2026 regardless. Then when I get to my program, I have clinicals and I will not be able to work. So right now for this year, it's all about stacking this bread, getting this content up so the content can pay the bills during clinicals because I cannot work during clinicals. It's basically like an unpaid internship. I think I answered the question. I just be rambling. I didn't look at all the questions before I started the video. And I kind of just answered a whole bunch of the other questions in that one question, but we're gonna go on to the next question anyway. Was I nervous about going back to school? Nervous? Not really nervous, because I'm smart. You wouldn't know it, but I'm actually very smart. I kind of was just like, ugh, am I really going back to school? Because when I finished my 4-year degree, I did not want to go back to school. A master's was nowhere in the equation. It was not happening. You cannot pay me to go back to school. I knew it was going to be hard because I have a whole bunch of new responsibilities. So it was just like, it wasn't really nerves. It was just like a kind of like a reality check. Like, okay, you're doing this. Anything I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. I could say I'm going to the moon and I'll get on the phone with NASA tomorrow. Whether I try it and fail, I'm going to try it regardless. But honestly, 4 years is a long time. I graduated in 2020, so it's 2025, but technically it would be like December of 2025 would make 5 years. And I didn't even know, I just found out that for a lot of programs, I don't know if it's for certain programs or if it's like in general, but if you are out of school 5 years and try to go back, you have to take everything all over again. Like start from square one. Because honey, if I had to start over from like English 1, English 2, college algebra, I would not, honey, HR it would be. Now this is a question that I got a lot on previous videos and the Q&A that I asked. How am I managing all of my responsibilities? Girl, I'm not. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, I am, but by the grace of God, let's just name them all. I'm a mom. I have a 11-month-old, a 1-year-old. She turns 1 next week. I have a 9 to 5. I'm a content creator. I'm a realtor. As if I needed anything else to add on to my plate, I decided to go back to school. So how am I managing it? Literally, like I said, by the grace of God and a village. I have the best support system, the best village. I would say that I am blessed when it comes to that because I know not everybody has that. If I didn't have the support, if I didn't have my village, I would not be able to do all of these things. But luckily, if I need to study, if I need to, like right now, I'm sitting here on a Friday night making this video. My baby's at her grandma's house because I needed to make this video. It's getting a little bit easier to do content with her. I use my support. I use my village anytime that I can, whether she goes to my mom's house, her dad's mom's house, my Nana and Papa come from Key West, and my friends, literally. My friends, bro. I cannot thank my friends enough. They have looked out tremendously. The first of like my friend group, my like close friend group to have a baby. And you know, I always see online people are like, oh, I had a baby, and my friends kind of just like forgot about me. Luckily, like I keep saying luckily because I know it's not the case for everybody, but my friends rallied around me my friends rallied around me times 10. I feel like I've become closer with my friends now more than ever. They don't let me stress. Anything I need, they figure it out. That is how I'm maintaining everything, just with support from my village, leaning on everybody. I'm not gonna lie, at first, even now I still have some trouble like leaning on people. I still try to be Wonder Woman, but I can't be Superman. I went to go tour daycare for the first time yesterday, and immediately no, that's a whole different story. I don't want moms to feel like they had a baby so they can't go back to school. They can't. Yes, you can. It's not going to be easy. If you can't, like, I know daycares are expensive. There's resources. What is there? Early Learning Coalition. There's a lot of resources that you can use. And I'm not trying to like shame you for not going back. I'm just saying, if you really want to do it, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Even when it comes to being a parent, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Like your child needs you happy. Your child needs you strong. Your child needs you with some money. So go to school. I don't even know what the question was. I just be on here yapping. Okay, so now these questions will get a little bit more into the actual program. How long do you have to go to school? So the program is 2 years. So it's going to be the year of prereqs and then the clinicals. I don't have to do college algebra, English 1, English 2, all of those electives. I went straight into just the last couple that I needed for my program. Can't go to university. You really don't need to. If you're like fresh out of high school, I would say go to university so you can experience the full 4 years and you can actually experience college. But since I already went to college, did that, I'm just going for the associate's 2-year program. Another question is, can you give us a rundown on how you get into the program? Like I said, you're going to go into a school, you're going to do your prerequisite classes. I know one of them is medical terminology. You're going to have to take, I took that at UCF, thank goodness. You're going to have to take physics, algebra, anatomy, which I'll be taking during the summer, and communication. Those are like kind of the core prereqs. And then once you're done your prereqs, you're going to go ahead and get into your program. What I will say though is you want to make sure that it is an accredited program. I have seen a lot of people on TikTok say they have went to be ultrasound tech and then found out they're not in an accredited program. I say it needs to be accredited. It has to be recognized by them. I'm looking at it because I will butcher it if I don't. It has to be accredited by the Commission on Accreditation of Allied Health Education Programs. So what it means when I say a program has to be accredited, it has to allow students to sit for exams after they finish their coursework. It has to allow them to go to clinicals. It has to be recognized by employers and licensing boards. So basically, if you're going to a non-accredited school, you don't get to sit for exams. You're not recognized by the licensing board. So it's like you pretty much are just wasting your time, to be honest. Another question is, what specialties are there within sonography? So there's actually a couple. I'm going for OBGYN, which is pretty much going to be dealing with pregnancies. So anything pregnancy related. There's also abdominal sonography, which is going to be dealing with the liver, the kidneys. There's cardiac sonography, which is something that I also was thinking about. That's pretty much just focusing on the heart. There's breast sonography, which is dealing with like mammograms, checking the boobs, checking for like breast cancer, stuff of that sort. There's neurosonography dealing with the brain and spinal cord. Then there's pediatric sonography, which is dealing with kids. I just want to stay with OBGYN, which is when the kids are in the belly. I don't want to deal with the kids outside the belly. Another question is, what are you most excited about in your future career? So I'm most excited about just being, like I said, I love my experience at my OBGYN. I literally will recommend everybody to go to them. Just being a part of that experience, being able to help like somebody guide them through pregnancy, be that positive experience. I know everybody's pregnancies aren't positive, but just kind of be that positive light to like guide them through their journey. So my last question is going to be, any advice for someone thinking about going into this field? Yes. So like I said, they do make very good money, but do not go into this field just for the money. I am an empath, so I really want to make sure these patients, their pregnancy is a blissful experience. To have patience, you need to have compassion, you need to be a good communicator, you need to be able to have a poker face. If you're scanning and something abnormal pops up, you can't tell the patients. Like, that's not your job, it's a doctor's job. You have to keep your poker face, pretend everything's going okay. Even if they're asking like, hey, is something wrong? You literally can't say anything. You don't want your face to say it either. So you have to have a poker face. You have to be, hey, you gotta be a strong, tough soldier. I'm still on this journey. I'm not even into the program yet. So I really can't give too much advice, but just take the prerequisites seriously, study, set aside time. Because honestly, if you don't set aside time and study, if you can't even pass the prereqs, honey, you're gonna have a hard time in the program. I'm bringing you guys along this journey from start to finish. This is my first semester. I'm bringing you guys along the entire journey. You guys are gonna see me from now until I actually get into the program, finish the program, and start becoming an ultrasound tech. And then, you know, eventually start doing travel assignments. So I'm bringing you guys along the entire journey. So if you're, you know, interested in sonography, interested in being an ultrasound tech, or just want to follow my journey, come along, hit subscribe, join the fam. I'm not gatekeeping anything. That was the last question. That is a wrap on my ultrasound tech Q&A. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions, or if not, I hope you're able to see how this journey is going for me so far, and hopefully you're interested in seeing the finish line. So if I didn't answer some questions, or you still have some questions, or you're still curious, something else you want to know, just drop it down in the comments. I could always make a part 2. But yeah, that is the end of this video. So hopefully you guys do want to join me on this journey. I know that I'm not alone. I'm sure there's several people wanting to become an ultrasound tech. It has become a popular field. Thank TikTok, literally TikTok. If you're interested, if you are on this journey with me, or you're interested, or you just want to be nosy and watch, or you're thinking about going back to school, or whatever. So yeah, that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.